You're listening to the Ripple Podcast. We joke and laugh a lot, but the content itself is serious, sometimes scary, graphic, and always true. This podcast is meant for mature audiences and includes subject matter and language that is not suitable for young listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
Get Ripple, the bright new drink with that ring-a-ding flavor, Ripple.
Rosa came in a cloud of cotton candy today.
I stink.
And now you smell like cotton candy. I can taste it.
It smells
but not
so
in a good
good.
way because it doesn't taste like cotton candy. It tastes like perfume.
I love it.
It's so strong.
I worked out right before I came here, and so I was all sweaty and gross and super self-conscious.
For me,
Well, I don't know. I don't want to smell bad.
I've smelled you plenty of times.
So now I just smell like cotton candy.
Yeah.
And I'm hungry because I haven't had dinner.
Well, drink some whiskey.
I know. Drinking like this super strong drink on an empty stomach, I'm going to be having a good time at the end of this podcast.
Well, I was going to do it the way that I sent you the picture, which was a bacon old fashioned.
No thanks.
But I just made it a regular old fashioned because I knew you wouldn't eat the bacon anyway. So
Thank you. That was very kind of you. And the pigs appreciate it as well.
Oh, okay. We'll get more into that a little later.
Oh, no.
But anyway, you had a Halloween event.
I did. We had quarantine Halloween.
Mm-hmm. How'd that go?
It was actually really, really fun.
Good.
We do the family costumes every year. And this is the first year that Eden actually got to pick what we were going to be. Because I normally kind of like guide her in the direction
Right. I'm sure.
of the costumes. And she's super into this Disney movie series called Descendants.
Yes, she's told me about this
She
show.
loves it. And she was the character named Mal, who is the daughter of Maleficent
Okay.
and Hades. So Nick was Hades, I was Maleficent, and she was Mal. And we looked pretty awesome, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, your costume is pretty rad.
We were, I mean, for not doing like Halloween, I think we were pretty good.
Did you make all of these costumes?
I put them all together one way or another. So like a Nick's jacket, I bought like a long black trench coat, but then I cut off the sleeves and then
Jesus.
and I painted like the skull on the back and the flames on the bottom. And
That's quite the investment.
it's fun.
And did you make your horns? Because that was kind of like the showstopper of the whole thing.
Amazon, like
You bought-
$17.
Oh, wow.
If you want to borrow them, let me know.
Yeah, I might do a goat sacrifice later this month.
Okay.
So I might need them for my satanic ritual.
Yeah, I'll totally let you borrow them.
I was totally thinking that. Because if you were just by yourself and you only had the horns on, you totally look like a goat man, like the belly whack goat man.
Oh, that would have been a good costume.
Yeah, save it for next time.
Yeah.
Could reuse it.
The amount of, whoa, you look horny comments I got were pretty entertaining.
Yeah. I'm kind of sad I didn't think of that.
Well, plenty of other people did.
Speaking of, plenty of people have thought things about your new crystal purchase that you
Oh.
posted on Instagram.
My gosh, I got the most beautiful, sparkly, stunning, huge cluster of crystals. And I posted it on my Instagram stories. And pretty much the first thing out of your mouth when I got here was, why the hell did you buy such a big crystal that looks like a dildo?
It totally does.
It does not. It's so pretty.
I'm not the only one who said it.
Okay, well, you guys have dirty minds. And if that were to be used as a dildo, I think the person would be in a lot more pain than pleasure.
Well, some people are into that.
Oh, this
Don't kink shame.
this would like send someone to the hospital.
What does your magical crystal do?
This one, I think it's Himalayan quartz. I forget. I don't know. I don't buy them based on what they do. I just buy them like which ones speak to me.
Oh, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do.
I judge with my heart.
What did it say to you?
It said, buy me. How about you? Did you do anything for Halloween? Did you guys dress up at all?
We did. It was a last minute costume.
Oh,
We
yeah,
weren't
I
planning
remember.
yeah, you saw it, didn't
Yeah.
you? We weren't planning on dressing up, but I dressed up as Adam. Total last minute sort of thing. And yeah, Adam was pre-quarantine Adam and I was post-quarantine Adam. And I was in sweatpants and a big oversized t-shirt with a Xbox remote in one hand and
That
a
was
beer
really
in the
funny.
other hand and a dirty old baseball cap. And Adam was in his like work attire. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was totally last minute. We weren't going to dress up, but we ended up going to a little barbecue, socially distanced backyard sort of thing. And they put a movie on a projector screen, and it was super nice just to hang out, like very low key,
Yeah.
and hung out for a couple hours, and then we went home. So have you heard? Totally off topic, but it just reminded me because I just opened up my phone about that woman in Zion who went missing.
Okay, so I knew she went missing, and I know she had, like, what, 2 kids? And was married?
Oh yeah, she's married. I don't know how many kids she had. She has adult children. She's like 43 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but she was gone for like over 2 weeks, and then, oh no, not over 2 weeks. Sorry, she was gone for 12 days, so almost 2 weeks. She was from California, and she went missing in Zion, and
Which you've been.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, it's easy to do. Someone could walk off a cliff, no problem.
oh yeah, easy to do, as in it's easy to disappear.
Yeah, sorry. That's what I meant.
Right, because there's one hiking trail which I think is probably closed right now called Angel's Landing, and if you fall off of that hiking trail, you end up in Refrigerator Canyon and you are dead.
Isn't that the most deadly trail in, like, the U.S.?
I think so. Like, as far as national parks go, it's up there. It's definitely up there. Probably followed by Yosemite, like Half Dome. But yeah, it's super crazy. And so she just goes missing, and they find her 12 days later, and it's like super sketchy and suspicious because they actually found her by the Virgin River, which is like where all of the campgrounds are. So like all of the day hiker people are like right there. She was like in a super populated area, and supposedly she like slid down a rock or something and hit her head on a tree and got all disoriented, but she didn't have any food with her and she didn't have any water with her, or she had very little.
12 days.
Yeah, and I guess she said, oh, well, I stayed by the river and I was drinking from the river. Well, all these experts are saying, like, you can't do that. There's like enough, I don't know what, contaminants in the water that you would have gotten really sick if you were drinking that for that long. So now there's like some weird stuff going out, like she was on some sort of spiritual journey and she wasn't eating or drinking. But then like the family's saying like, oh, it wasn't intentional. She wasn't trying to deceive everybody. It's really weird.
What do you think really happened? Do you believe her story, or do you think they're covering up something?
I think they're covering something up.
The family?
Yeah. I think she was avoiding rescue.
She didn't want to be found.
Right. For one reason or another.
Do you think she was trying to like self-harm?
Maybe because she had just gotten let go of her job. She was a full-time nanny, I guess. COVID happened. She lost her job.
So maybe she's in a really dark place.
I think so.
Which, I mean, it does happen. People go out into the wilderness and expect not to come back.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just very bizarre that she was like I think it was only like a quarter a mile away from like the main parking lot. She was like super close by. If you plan on going on some sort of meditative spiritual journey, let people know, maybe.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So, you made me a tasty little drink without bacon.
Yes.
What is in it? What am I drinking?
So this is just a regular old-fashioned. And that is because we are talking about Kentucky, and we can't talk about Kentucky without having Kentucky bourbon.
Okay, wait. Can I ask a really embarrassing question?
What's in an old-fashioned?
That is the question.
You should know this because I taught you how to do this for the bartending event that we did.
I don't remember anything.
Okay, super. Well, I don't remember much of that night either, but super easy. It's all it is sugar, like oftentimes people use like a sugar cube,
Okay.
and then you put a couple dashes of bitters. There's bitters over there on it. And then you put your whiskey on, and a lot of people like to mellow it out with like cold water.
Okay.
And then an orange twist.
Yeah, it's very pretty. I like the way that you like zested that orange.
Yeah.
What do you call it, zest?
I don't know. It's a peel. It's a
But it's pretty.
It's a twist.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it. I mean, people make them differently now. I mean, if you go to a bar, they'll probably use simple syrup instead
Sure.
of actual granulated sugar. But yeah, that's it.
I kind of feel like I need
A cherry
or a smoking jacket and a cigar as I drink this.
or a piece of bacon. A
No.
piece of smoked bacon to
That
complement the flavor.
Would definitely not be one of the things I choose.
Well, if you really wanted to go with the theme of my story, you would definitely have that piece of smoked bacon.
Okay, I'm totally ready for your
Okay.
story. Tell it.
Here we go. So really quick, my sources, because I always forget them. Unexplained Mysteries, Wikipedia, and Atlas Obscura.
Oh, fun.
So
That sounds like a fun
I
place.
pulled Kentucky, and my theme was mysteries.
Cool.
So we're going back to 1876.
Long time ago.
A long, long time ago on March 3rd. Imagine this. It was just a beautiful day. You're in Olympia Springs, located in Bath County, Kentucky.
Did we go there? Have we been there?
I don't know. I meant to look that up.
Because we went to Kentucky.
We did go to Kentucky, but I don't really know where Bath County is. I feel like I remember.
Well, that's kind of why I asked. I felt like that was kind of
Does
familiar
it sound
sounding.
familiar? Okay, let me look it up really quick. We did not go to Bath County.
Oh,
No,
okay.
that would have been east of where we were.
Okay.
So, anywho,
Continue.
Olympia Springs, located in Bath County, Kentucky, where wife and mother Mary Crouch headed out to the yard to make soap for the day.
Oh, that sounds fun.
Does it sound fun?
I like making soap.
Do you?
I mean, I think I would like to make
What do
soap.
you do when you make soap?
I'd buy a kit
Mm-hmm.
and put in like dried flowers.
Okay. Well, this consisted of rendering animal fat from, like the skins and all of the leftovers. And you just like boil it up until
No.
all the fat comes off of it. And then you add the lye. Like, you remember Fight Club?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they made soap back in the day.
No.
Because somewhere along the lines in history, people thought, oh, you know what would make me smell really good and be really clean?
Animal lard.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. So Mary was out there boiling fat
Gross.
on this beautiful blue sky day when suddenly, out of nowhere, it began to rain,
Oh, just like at the Derby.
just like you said. But this was no ordinary rain falling from the sky. It was chunks of raw meat.
What the hell? What kind of story is this?
And that's why you have bacon in your old fashioned.
It's like bothering the back of my throat.
Really? Is it really?
Uh-huh.
Wait, the drink or the fact that we're
the-
talking about meat
the
chunks?
thought of meat falling from the sky.
Yeah, chunks of raw meat ranging in size from 2 inches square to about 6 inches long.
What the
in
hell is that
strips.
from?
Well, it's a mystery.
No, it's not.
And before long, hundreds of pounds of raw sky meat had fallen from the sky.
That's a lot of meat.
It is. It covered an area about 100 yards long and 50 yards wide.
What?
That's a big space. And this day will forever remain named,
Be known as.
be known as the day of the Kentucky meat shower.
That is not a good name. I do not want to take a shower in Kentucky.
Every time I think of like the actual name, the Kentucky meat shower, it reminds me of that GIF. Have you seen that one where it's this chick and it's just her face? And
With
then,
all the hot dogs.
yes.
Yes.
That needs to be like our episode image.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
With-
I'm
with
so
no-
glad you thought the same
Yes.
thing.
That's disgusting.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw I think it was a TikTok video or some challenge, and you're supposed to, you know those like M&Ms that come in like plastic, in like the tube,
Like the holiday ones, like the candy cane M&Ms? No.
This
Oh, the mini ones? The
Uh-huh.
little canisters?
Yeah,
I didn't think they made those anymore. Do they?
pretty sure because they were using them for this challenge. I'll have to find it and show it to you.
Okay.
And what you're supposed to do is like there's two people, so you have two different tubes full of M&Ms.
Okay.
And I do one and I see how many I can catch in my mouth in 30 seconds or whatever.
Wait, so you're throwing them up in the air?
No, you just tilt your head back and you like raise it up.
Oh, easy.
And then the other person does it and they raise it up. But in the tube is a hot dog instead. And this when I saw this poor woman, like the hot dog, I thought it was going to choke her. Like it
so
went
funny.
down her throat, and I'm sure her husband just thought it was the best thing ever.
Oh, that's really
I'll find
funny.
it and show it to you.
Okay, you're gonna have to find that because that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
But also, like, if I were to do that challenge, just like you were doing, wouldn't you think you would be like rattling it, like getting it ready? And
Totally.
so maybe there were.
It might have been staged.
Maybe.
But yeah, because I would, if I was having a tube of M&Ms, the first thing you do is shake it.
Yeah. Huh.
Okay, continue with the Kentucky meat shower.
Okay. So on to the meat shower. So Mary looked around and she saw chunks of meat just hitting the table, draping over fence posts, plopping on the grass around her. She even had to dodge some of the meat strips to avoid getting hit in the face. And this happened for a full 10 minutes. Mary
What?
just watched meat rain down from the sky.
10 minutes is a really long time.
It is a really long time. Like, it doesn't even rain that long in California.
No.
Like
Like
if it
water.
rains, yeah, that's okay. But anyway, so like, what would be your initial thought when you saw sky meat falling?
That the world was ending.
Okay.
That
okay.
there was like an apocalypse coming.
Yeah, I could totally see that. So Mary's initial thought is that something like crazy disastrous happened on the farm and the flesh of her husband and child were being strewn at her. Like there was some sort of explosion or accident or something. Like I don't think there's that many like wood chippers back in the 1800s.
No, for real. I was thinking like
Like
a
they got-
farming tool. Like a
they got
farming
Fargoed?
something, yeah, some like discer or something like with,
Yeah, like a bale or something, hay bale.
but that
something.
wouldn't rain for 10 minutes.
No, it wouldn't. Well, luckily, her husband Alan and her son returned home shortly after the meat shower stopped.
Oh my god. Was she by herself when this happened?
She was, which would make it so
Oh.
much scarier.
Yeah.
So after checking out all of the goods, Alan thought that this was a sign from God, just kind of like you did. However, he didn't know whether this was a blessing or a curse.
I would not eat the meat from the meat shower.
Interesting that you say that because the family was too afraid to even touch the sky meat until the family barn cat began to chomp on it.
Oh, little Fluffy. Let's see if Fluffy makes it or not.
And Fluffy loved it. Fluffy was having a hell of a time.
Sure.
Fluffy didn't die,
So it's all good.
so it was all good. And they were no longer afraid that it was like cursed meat. And they're like, okay, so it's safe. It's been cat tested. We can move on.
Mother approved.
Yes. So news caught wind of the meat shower and it spread throughout town and it brought skeptics and reporters to the farm to marvel at the fallen sky meat. And Mary told one reporter, "It was a cool day with a slight breeze, but there wasn't a cloud in sight and I started to hear wet slapping
Oh my god.
of meat hitting the ground around me. I looked up and all I saw was blue. The sky was clear and the sun was shining."
But there's pieces of flesh being flung at my face.
Yes. So, of course, there's two hunters in the area and they stopped by the meat farm and they decided there's only one way to solve this mystery, and that was to taste the meat.
Okay, so this is before the family ate the meat?
The family never ate it, just the cat.
Oh, I thought you said that it was okay to eat.
Well, no, they just they weren't afraid of it anymore.
Oh, to touch it.
Yeah.
Because like maggots and stuff are going to be starting to like.
I would think so, but at the same time, in the 1800s, how picky are you about maggots?
But it would
Are
start
you?
to smell rotting flesh.
But maybe it just turns into jerky.
Maybe if it's hot.
Maybe.
Is it hot in Kentucky?
It's pretty wet in Kentucky.
So it would like mold.
I don't know, but these these hunters were down.
Okay.
And they took a taste. They're probably drunk and dared each other or whatever.
You do it first. Come on.
Bet each other.
Come on, you do it.
Don't be a little bitch. So the hunters, one of them ate it and was like, this kind of tastes like mutton or venison.
That's deer.
deer or sheep, an old sheep.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this other hunter was like, no. I am very familiar with bear meat, and this tastes like greasy bear meat.
So let's have an argument over what kind of meat we're eating off of the ground that fell from the sky.
Yes.
Okay.
I kind of think he was just bragging, though. Like
he thinks he knows what he's saying.
or he thinks he's, like, hunted a bunch of bear.
A connoisseur, if you will.
Of
Flesh.
rotting, rancid meat.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, they take it to the town butcher. And the butcher can't identify it. The butcher's like, well, it's meat, but I couldn't tell you, like, where it came from.
Okay, I would trust the butcher over these two drunk hunters.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of would too. But still, regardless of what the meat came from, they don't know where it came from.
Yeah, I want to know that too.
So the story soon covered front pages all over national newspapers.
Wait, stop.
Yes.
Is this a mystery? I forget what topic you pulled.
This is a mystery.
Ah, shit. Are we going to find out?
I don't know.
Ah, okay. Crap. Okay, go.
There are some theories.
Damn it.
Okay. And the theories from across the country started raining in. That's Rosa shaking her drink. I think she forgot that she has a microphone in front of her.
And I love how you use the word raining in. Was that like a play on words?
Oh, yeah.
Meat.
Hey,
It
didn't
was like
even notice that.
Meat raining in.
So there's this scientist, Leopold Brandeis, and I'm sure I pronounced that correctly.
Sounds good to me.
And he theorized that the sky meat wasn't actually meat at all.
What?
He said that instead it was witch's butter.
What the hell's witch's butter?
Oh, I'm sorry. You might know it as star slubber.
Nope, don't know it.
Okay, how about sky jelly?
No, that sounds dirty. I'll have to find this to show you too. This is horrible. I saw a post someone did the other day. And it's this beautiful like field of mountains and flowers. And then there's this like smudge that you see. And just the caption at the bottom says, "I took my kids out to the wilderness."
Oh my God. What was that on?
On one of my mom pages.
Like on Facebook?
Uh-huh.
Oh my God.
I'll show you. It's pretty funny. I mean, it made me laugh.
That's pretty good. That's so disgusting.
It was funny.
Oh, wow.
Okay, so continue with your witch's butter.
Okay, so witch's butter. It's a jelly often called nostoc. Okay, nostoc, are you familiar with that?
Nope, never heard of it.
Okay, so it's a flesh-colored jelly, and it's in a mass, and it becomes enlarged when it rains. So this is a form of cyanobacteria.
You're saying really big words right now.
It's a bacteria.
Okay.
And it's usually like in dry times, it's just kind of like shriveled up and dry, and you don't really notice it. I guess it's just kind of like dust. And then if there's a breeze, it can like get in the air and on the wind. And when it rains, it swells up.
What?
Yeah. So like imagine like a chia seed.
Okay.
So when a chia seed gets wet, it gets all gelatinous and it swells.
Uh-huh.
Well, this is the kind of bacteria that also does something similar to that.
Kind of like what there's in the ocean sometimes, like that jelly stuff.
Right. So this is actually a type of an algae.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So it is it's kind of this blob sort of thing, and you can actually eat it. And when you eat it, it can taste like chicken or frog legs.
What?
Mm-hmm.
This has happened other than this Kentucky time.
Right. Yeah. So this is a thing that happens in places. And that's what the scientist is basing it off of. And he's like, no. You can't have meat falling from the sky. That's clearly witch's butter. And you're eating it and you think it's meat, but it's not meat because it can kind of look like meat.
Kind of looks like meat, kind of tastes like meat.
But it's not meat.
Oh, I kind of need to see what this looks like.
Oh, I didn't even look it up. Do you want to look it up really quick?
Yeah. Is it
Show
a
me a
fungus?
picture.
Is it an algae? When I first came across a strange toffee-colored jelly mass covering the entire roof of a garage complex, I had no idea
Ew.
what it was. At first, I thought it was algae, especially as most of it appeared to be thriving in pools of stagnant water. and then finally decided it must be some species of jellied fungus. Okay, so here's a picture of it.
That is disgusting.
It looks nothing like meat.
No, it doesn't. And that's one of the major flaws in this whole theory. Ew. Oh, ew.
So it doesn't really look that gross to me because the first thing I thought of when I saw it was Pad See Ew, like the Thai noodles.
Oh, yeah. When you think of it that way, it doesn't look as gross.
Mhm.
It kind of looks like a glass noodle,
Yeah.
sort of, but it kind of
Like
has
a
a
flat,
green tinge
Yellowy
to it.
green. Yeah, it looks like a flat noodle,
Right.
but it doesn't look like meat.
No, it doesn't look like meat at all. And the problem with this theory, there's multiple problems. One, the butcher was like, yeah, this is definitely meat. You can see these muscle fibers. You can see the like veins of fat running through this meat.
What?
Uh-huh.
So wait,
And
this even confused the butcher. This was so meat looking like that it looked like meat to
well,
a
no,
butcher.
the butcher's like, yes, this is absolutely meat. This isn't bacteria.
Okay,
So
it was meat then.
that was one major flaw. The other flaw is that only happens when it rains.
Oh, and
It was a very picturesque blue sky day. There was no rain.
okay.
Okay. So next theory. A New York Times columnist had another theory, and that would mean that the sky meat wasn't animal, it wasn't bacteria, but instead human meat.
What?
Mm-hmm.
What? How could you get 10 minutes of human meat falling from a sky?
Well, Rosa, his theory is that a tornado swept up two guys in a knife fight from a town over.
That is pretty wild.
And these two filleted each other as they twisted in the sky until they were diced into little tiny bits and dropped over the crotch farm.
That doesn't sound... I mean, that's a great theory. Kind of funny. But no. Pass.
Okay. All right. So, problem with that one. There was way too much meat for it to just be two people. How much meat was there, you ask?
I do.
Enough to fill a horse wagon, of course.
What the hell's a horse wagon?
It's a wagon that horses pull.
Oh, like a big wagon.
So in other words, several hundred pounds of sky meat. More than 3 human bodies worth of sky meat.
Okay. So it wasn't a tornado filled with knife fighting gentlemen.
No, definitely not. And another problem with that theory is that they didn't find any bones among the meat. It was just
good point.
meat. And people were having a hard time trying to figure out like what critter could possibly fall from the sky and not have any bones.
Maybe the tornado went through a butcher's business and but there's bones. This is creepy. This is super creepy. I feel like this is an episode of what's that weird show? Twilight Zone.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say Outer Limits, but yeah, Twilight Zone. That
Mhm.
works. Well, what animal doesn't need bones, Rosa?
Octopus.
Oh, good.
Mhm.
But no. According to William Livingston Alden, an American journalist,
Mhm.
these were in fact cosmic meat parts.
Oh, like an alien.
Like an alien. So he had an idea that a belt
Ew.
of meteors
That bothers me a lot.
that constantly revolves around the sun, when it comes within the gravitational pull of a planet or some other space rock that has critters on it,
Yeah.
they collide. That space rock with all the critters on it goes floating off into the crazy space world, and then it gets sucked into our gravitational pull, and we are now pelted with space cows.
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Why not? I mean, it makes perfect sense. The cow gets blown apart from the meteor. It gets sucked into the gravitation. Oh, I mean, it might not be a cow. It might be like a Martian cow.
So you think that like Martian cows don't have bones?
Well, I don't know. Gravity's different.
True.
So it comes through and it just starts raining down on a farm in Kentucky. It's all a part of a meteor shower. No? Why not? Probably because they might get burned up in the atmosphere.
Okay, I think I figured it out.
Okay, tell me.
I think it's horse meat that
That's really sad.
I know that someone was like had getting ready to process for dog food.
You think they made dog food back in the 1800s?
I don't know. Do they not?
I don't know. It's like a serious question.
Do
Did
they
like was there dog like dog food kibble, or did dogs just eat like whatever
Scraps. That's my guess right now. Horse meat.
And wait, how did it end up on the farm?
A tornado. I like that.
You like the tornado still, even though they didn't see a tornado.
And I guess nothing else got blown away.
No.
All right, keep going.
Okay, moving on. Eventually, they sent samples of the sky meat to Transylvania University.
How old is the sky meat by now?
I mean, it's got to be at least a couple days old. But they put some in like a little jar.
Okay.
And they sent it off to the university, where this doctor attempted to identify it and concluded that it was lung tissue.
Ew. Oh.
And that lung tissue was either from a horse
Oh my gosh.
or a human baby.
Like 300 pounds of human baby flesh? That's horrible.
Like, how do you confuse a horse lung with a human baby?
Mm-hmm.
I think
very similar.
back in the 1800s, becoming a doctor wasn't all that hard.
Yeah, I don't think so.
What's that old saying about like, you got ghost in your bones, you should go do some cocaine about it?
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Horses are babies.
Uh-huh.
Got it.
Uh-huh. So even though they didn't know how it got there, they kind of narrowed down what it was, which was
Horses
horse
are
or
babies.
baby. And it wasn't until years later that an Ohio farmer suggested that this meat shower was actually the result of the disgorgement of vultures.
I don't know what that means. Like throwing up?
Mm-hmm. Vulture puke.
300 pounds of vulture puke.
Well, let me continue. So he suggests that vultures were flying over at an immense height, and they scattered their vomit all over the farm when they were like in a group.
Sure.
Do you know what a group of vultures is called? I had to look this up.
Give me 3 choices.
Kettle, a committee, or a wake.
Awake.
They're all right.
Oh.
But the term kettle refers to vultures in flight, while a committee refers to vultures resting on the ground or in a tree, and a wake refers to vultures that are feeding.
Okay.
So this kettle of vultures was flying over, and that's what he suggests. And one of them puked, which made them all puke.
I mean, that's what I do. If I see or hear someone else puke, I puke too.
I think a lot of people
I'm
do.
a sympathetic puker.
I think it's a common thing, but it actually is a defense mechanism that vultures have. So if they're scared, or if they need to make a quick getaway and they need to like lighten the load, they'll throw up what they just ate. And when they're eating, they can eat up to 1/3 of their body weight. So if one vulture, even if it's not out of fear, if they sense that what they ate wasn't like setting well, and they'll throw it up, it'll make all of the other vultures throw up.
They're sympathetic pukers as well?
They are. Yeah. So what do you think of that theory?
Based on what I know about vultures, because I see vultures frequently. I was actually watching some just today. I've never seen one throw up, ever.
It wasn't afraid of you.
Apparently not. But I mean, I've never really seen more than like 5 or 6 together at a time either.
Oh, I have.
Oh, really?
I actually have pictures because sometimes I'll see them at work. So in the morning when it's like wet outside and they're still kind of like their wings are wet or whatever.
They stand out with their wings all spread. Yeah.
And I've gotten pictures of them together in groups of like 30.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we have that with the crows, but not with the. I mean, I've seen like I said, like 5 or 6, sunning themselves and drying out and stuff. But okay, so if there was what do they call it? A kettle of vultures.
A kettle of vultures.
There's 30 of them flying, and one of them says the squirrel needs to go.
Mm-hmm.
I still don't buy it.
Okay, let me further convince you.
Okay.
So vultures can actually fly up to 20,000 feet.
Wow.
So even if Mary was looking up, she may not have seen them. And considering the distance that it spread, like they could have already flown past the farm, and that meat would like fall down and spread out over that huge area. And considering there was such a variety of meat out there, it makes sense. The size of the meat is right.
Yeah. Okay, I see that. And like one guy said it tastes like bear. One guy said it tasted like mutton. This is a baby. This is a horse.
Mm-hmm.
I could say too, like if there's meat falling from the sky, I'm not going to be looking up and looking where that meat is coming from.
Oh.
I'm going to be like covering my head,
dodging
and
it,
running from it. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's
Okay. I'm kind of leaning. Okay. I kind of get it.
Yeah. And if that's true, that means that those creepy drunk hunter guys not only ate rancid
Vulture vomit.
meat on the ground, they ate rancid sky meat that was vomited up by vultures.
Okay.
So that's like the main theory. There are people who suspect kind of what you do, that there was like a little twister tornado that went through that picked up a bunch of like scraps from a butcher and dropped them off. But a lot of people say there's absolutely no weather anomalies like that day.
Yeah. And that doesn't account for the lack of bones either.
Yeah. I mean,
And
unless they
vultures-
had like a pile that was like, okay, the bones go over here and the other scraps go over here. But if that's the case, then I would think that the butcher would be able to identify, oh yeah, that's a whatever piece that we cut off of this critter.
But why didn't the butcher identify that meat?
No, that's what I'm saying.
No, like, but why didn't he? Even though the vultures ate it.
Oh, I don't know, because it was human baby and he doesn't butcher babies.
That's a good thing.
I don't know. So that is the mystery of the 1876 Kentucky meat shower.
I hope that never happens again.
It actually has.
No.
And I wasn't going to talk about this because I actually have a little ripple and I'm like, I'm not going to go into those other stories. But did you hear about the exploding whale in Oregon?
No.
There's a whale that exploded.
That is. Oh.
And it sent like chunks of whale. I don't know if it exploded because it was like decomposing. I didn't look this up. Or if it exploded.
Full of gas.
Yeah. I don't know if it was that.
Oh my God.
Or if it was like Reno 911 style where they had to explode it to get it off the beach. I don't know.
Did it fall on people? Did people get
Yes,
blasted?
I think like people's cars got like smashed.
Did not happen.
Okay, now I
on
need to look
purpose.
this up because I brought it up and I wasn't going to bring it up.
Oh, gross.
And then there's like also stories about like water. What are they called? Water spouts? The like little wet twisters, like sharknadoes.
Okay. That's a thing. I don't know.
Yeah, there's a name for it. But like sharknadoes, but with like frogs and fish.
Oh, God.
That's happened in real life.
They just get blasted with frogs.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, the blowing up of a whale. My guess, because you know how good I am at this stuff. My guess is that it filled up with like gas, like you know when things start to rot.
Yeah, I
and
think
it
you're
just
right.
Blasted. Oh, that's so gross.
There have been several cases of whale carcasses bursting due to the buildup of gas in the decomposition process. It's like you wrote Wikipedia. Actual explosives have also been used to assist in disposing of whale carcasses.
That was like Reno 911.
Yeah. So, okay. American humorist Dave Barry wrote about it in a newspaper column in 1990 after viewing television footage of an explosion. Later, that same footage circulated on the internet. It was also parodied in the 2007 movie Reno 911. But I swear, okay, so the explosion, this was Florence, Oregon, in November of 1970, when the Oregon Highway Division, now Oregon Department of Transportation, blew up a decaying sperm whale. Why does that make it so much funnier? With dynamite in an attempt to dispose of its rotting carcass. The explosion threw the whale flesh over 800 feet away.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Anyway, I have a little ripple.
Okay.
If you want to hear a little bit more about the Kentucky meat shower.
I absolutely do.
Okay. As you said, you would have no interest in trying the sky meat.
No.
Well, I mean, a lot of people would. And fortunately for those people, their taste buds can take a trip back into time and experience the flavor of that 1876 Kentucky meat shower.
What?
Yes.
Is happening right now?
So Kurt Godey, a professor of arts at Transylvania University, created a sky meat flavored jelly bean for the court days, which I think is like their like annual fair in the area.
Okay, so like a Bean Boozled type thing.
When Godey was clearing out a storage closet at the university, he stumbled upon a glass jar. And we'll post a picture of this because this jar looks like super cool, like old apothecary looking.
Ooh, cool.
The jar was sealed with a cork stopper, and it contained a chunk of white, fatty looking meat suspended in a yellow, pale liquid. The label was faded, but the words Olympia Springs could still be made out. He was thrilled. Determined to try to pinpoint what mystery animal rained down on Olympia Springs, he worked with colleagues in the biology department to have the sample genetically tested. Unfortunately, the sample was way too old and contaminated to give him any conclusive results. But then he got creative. Much of his artwork involves community engagement.
What does that mean?
Like teaching the community about things. So what he did is that he went to a Cincinnati flavor analyzer place, and he had the meat sampled and reconstructed into a jelly bean.
That's so gross.
So he wanted to educate locals about this historic event, and he went to the fair thing, court days, and he handed out jelly beans in little tin jars, and he told them about the history of the meat shower, and he was fascinated with the idea of people trying it and telling him what it tasted like.
And what did they say? What were their responses?
Vile is one of the words that was used.
Sure.
Rancid meat. Sugared bacon with metallic aftertaste. So he wants to keep the story of the meat shower going, and he's extremely fascinated about it. And he has another idea that he's still in the early stages of conceptualizing. And it's a collaborative community art project that would recreate the event of March 3rd in 1876 by dropping meat from the sky over Olympia Springs. He hopes that by sharing the story of the meat shower through his art, more Kentuckians will take interest in this strange chapter of history.
Okay, I kind of love his passion and, thought, interesting, intuitive ways that he wants to teach people. I kind of love, and support that.
You would never forget tasting that jelly bean.
But pick a different topic.
No. See, that's the problem is I was not from the area. He went to teach at the university. I don't even know if he was from the country. I forgot where he came from. And he was reading up all about the area. And then he was asking his students about it when he got to the university to start teaching, and nobody knew anything about it. And he's like, how do you guys not know that you had sky meat raining down on your city 100 years ago?
I appreciate that. Totally. So
Here,
great.
Eat a jelly bean.
Oh, so gross.
Tastes like rancid bacon.
No.
So yeah, that's my story and that's my ripple. And that is why I would normally make a bacon old fashioned, but Rosa would refuse to drink
I
it.
would. I totally would.
She's not about that meat in her cup.
Not about any of that dead carcass. Ready. Okay, do you want to hear my last thought in a shot?
Yes.
Start singing.
I was hoping you'd forget about it.
Nope, sing.
It's really not necessary.
Ready, go.
You can add it in post.
And sing.
Last thought in a shot, last thought in a shot, last thought in a shot. If I had a few more shots, I'd be able to sing that.
Okay, well, how much more of that drink do you have in there?
Maybe half a shot.
Okay, so drink it while I tell you a little bit about this Kentucky. So maybe it's because I'm super hungry or what, but when
Fried chicken.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Mm-hmm.
And this is a little bit about the real Colonel Sanders. Did you know?
His first name's Harlan.
Oh, good job.
Do you want to know why I know that?
Why?
Because I heard it one time and I'm like, man, I really like that name.
Harlan.
I think if I have a kid, I might name it Harlan.
Harlan Sanders was his name. And
Okay.
so I'm just going to run down and give you a real quick few little facts about the real Harlan Sanders. And he opened his first restaurant inside of a gas station.
Okay, makes sense.
Uh-huh.
I think like a lot of them are like that, like Carl's Jr.'s and...
Yeah, but he was just really popular. Like, people really liked his food, and that's how it started. So this gas station, it was like a Shell station.
Okay.
Another little fact about him, he actually wounded a business rival in a deadly shootout.
Hell yeah.
He sounds like a badass. Like, he was not like this sweet little Colonel Sanders guy. So there was this guy, and apparently, like, this other like rival that had a restaurant was like kind of like tagging up his business sign.
What an asshole.
So him, Colonel, and like another Shell worker went outside like to get out of here, and the guy like drops the paintbrush but then pulls out a gun.
Oh shit.
And he shoots
the colonel?
Well, no, he shoots the colonel's friend.
Oh no.
Kills him. Full on murders him, and the colonel shot back and wounded him in the shoulder.
Oh.
And so this guy, he got convicted. He got 18 years in prison for the murder of Colonel's friend.
Wow.
And all the charges against Colonel Sanders were dropped.
Well, yeah.
And another little fun fact, he delivered babies. He also practiced law. So he started out like as, like a farmhand and a streetcar conductor. And then he was studying law like by correspondence. So I'm not really sure. I would think that'd be like studying law online, like nowadays.
I have no idea.
But by correspondence, so he's writing or something. And he practiced in a justice of the peace courts in Arkansas. But he got into like a courtroom fight with somebody else, and they're like, dude, you're out. You can't practice law anymore. You're out of here.
So then he went on to making chicken and getting into gunfights.
Pretty much. And
wait, okay.
Go ahead.
I have a question.
Always.
So he was never a colonel?
Well, he was in the military, but he was like an honorary colonel. So
How do you get that?
He enlisted in the U.S. Army in 1906, and he served in Cuba for several months before his honorable discharge. In 1935, this Kentucky Governor Ruby Laffoon issued a ceremonial decree that commissioned Sanders as an honorary colonel. After a second honorary commission in 1949, Sanders embraced the title and tried to look the part by growing facial hair and donning a black frock coat and string tie.
Colonels have facial hair?
Apparently, I didn't think they were allowed to.
So wait. Was he calling himself colonel before or after this?
After.
Oh, okay.
But he wasn't.
Then it's not as douchey.
No, but it wasn't ever like official. I mean, a governor issued a ceremonial decree.
I mean, is Dr. Dre a real doctor?
Totally not.
And why was he delivering babies?
It was just one of his many.
Just like a hobby?
Mm-hmm.
Just like just on the weekends.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. He
catching some
also
babies.
sold life insurance at one point and automobile tires. He delivered babies. He's like, there was nobody else to do it. So the husbands couldn't afford a doctor when their wives were pregnant. So I just stepped in.
That seems suspicious.
A little bit. Maybe yeah.
Who is Colonel Sanders right now? You're looking at me with a blank stare.
Yeah, there's a Colonel Sanders right now.
Yeah. There's so I don't know when they started doing this, but they've had different celebrities be the colonel for like a year or whatever, a certain amount of time, and then they crown a new colonel. Like Reba McEntire's been the colonel.
What? No,
Yeah.
I did
Okay,
not
no.
know this.
I think she was like one of the more recent ones. Okay, every person who's played Colonel Sanders.
Okay.
Like
Like on commercials?
Yeah, they have like a celebrity colonel. So first, Harlan Sanders.
Okay.
Daryl Hammond. I don't know who that is. Some celebrity. Norm Macdonald.
Norm Macdonald. Wasn't he on like Cheers?
Saturday Night Live.
Oh.
Jim Gaffigan. George Hamilton.
Am I supposed to know these names?
I've heard of Jim Gaffigan. Rob Wrigley. I'm gonna skip a lot of these people I don't know. Rob Lowe.
Okay, I've heard that name.
He's been the colonel. Christopher Boyer, Reba McEntire,
Okay.
Jason Alexander from Seinfeld,
Oh, okay.
Sean Astin.
Sean Astin. He was
Oh,
in,
you know who that is?
Yeah, he was Goonies.
Oh, well, he was
I
colonel
think.
for a while.
We're the worst LA.
I know.
Like, we live in California. We're super close to LA, and we don't know who any of these people are. So, super A-list celebs.
Reba McEntire, I know that one.
Well, Sean Astin, he's rad. He was also in, did you watch Stranger Things?
No, not all of it, because I started watching it, and then Adam watched it without me, and I never caught up.
Oh, well, he was in Stranger Things as well.
Oh,
He was Mikey in Goonies.
okay.
So that's the one name I know. Well, anyways, that was my fun little Colonel Sanders stuff. Should I pick for next week?
Do it.
Okay.
Are you picking a location first or a theme first?
I will pick. This is the location.
Okay.
Location, box, bag, basket, whatever you want to call it. Okay. And it is Turkey. Hey, we're out of the U.S. Turkey.
Hey, it's almost Thanksgiving.
Oh my gosh, it's totally almost Thanksgiving.
Perfect timing.
Maybe there will be turkey falling from the sky.
Oh, I can only dream.
And the subject matter is crimes, true crimes.
Oh, okay, back to the true crime. We haven't done that in a little bit.
Okay. So Turkey, true crime. We're finally out of the U.S., which is kind of ironic considering that the election was yesterday. We still don't have a president yet.
Oh, I'll figure it out eventually.
But
It'll
anyway.
all come out in the wash.
Mm-hmm. All right. Have a great week. And I'm going to be telling you all about turkey and its side dishes. Ooh, turkey side dishes.
Oh, cranberries.
So good.
Is this super offensive right now?
Why? Oh, because it's turkey.
Oh, but I can't wait.
They don't have Thanksgiving in Canada, huh?
They have a Canadian Thanksgiving, yeah.
They do, but
But it's not on the same day.
okay.
I think. Don't they have a Canadian Thanksgiving? I'm pretty sure they do.
I know they have Boxing Day, but that's like after Christmas. Canadian listeners, do you have a Thanksgiving? Tom, are you listening? All right, well, let's talk about turkey, but not the food next week.
I can't make any promises. I'm probably going to go to Trader Joe's between now and then, and you're going to hear more about my
Turkey
findings.
dinner?
Yes.
Fantastic. All right, well, until then, don't forget to be a fountain.
And not a drain.
Bye-bye.
Bye.